Oh, yeah. She's hot now.
It isn't the prettiest thing I ever done, there's no question there. But that's a flex core welder, you know? It's pretty is not really on the agenda. Just not leaking is on the agenda.
Sure is ugly, but
it'll be fine. She's an early Friday off work, and we're ready for a busy weekend, I'll tell you that.
Right, little buddy? Hey? Is it time for air conditioning? Probably, hey?
So our first stop on this busy weekend, which is a long weekend for us, is naturally a stop to Sylvan Auto Parts, where we have some push rods for the small block Ford that we're building, and we also have some exhaust flex pipes for the Jeep, which is gonna be our main focus this weekend. We're in the Mustang and the dogs are with me. They've buckled in this time because we're on the real highway going at speed. Normally we just go slow when I've got the dogs, but I've got them in harnesses and buckled in this time so that we go down the real highway. And we're in the winter beater Mustang, even though it's not winter time, because somehow the only car that I have with working air conditioning is the winter beater, which doesn't make a great deal of sense, but it is the way it works. So anyways, I'll see you in a few minutes. Is it less concerning out here now, Elvis? Have you cooled down a bit? How about you, Luna Bear? You doing good? Just happy to have a little wind in your hair? With our trip to Sylvan Lake Auto Parts completed, our push rods and exhausts in tow, we are headed back to work on the Jeep. Or at least take things apart further. I don't know what we're doing yet, but we're doing something. Right, Elvis? Little buddy, did you fall asleep? You having a little snooze? You're a good boy. Morning. It's the next day. We did actually get after it a little bit on the Jeep here last night, but I just kind of wanted to get after it and didn't really take out the camera or anything. So I'll show you that in a second, but in the meantime, it's 6 in the morning and I gotta go pick up Mr. Brian Halsey from Cruise Culture Magazine. We're gonna go haul a scrap car. It's his, not mine, for a change. I always want to take Charlie for that kind of thing, but I had to disconnect the brake controller because it's old school hydraulic one and it leaked all over the floor. So we're in the white auction truck again, old reliable. Well, we got a trailer behind us. We got a tire filled up. We're gonna go pick up Ryan. Well, given the rain, we made the right choice about what truck to take. We've collected Brian. We've collected this beautiful car that he's elected to destroy and get rid of. He's done the world a favor by doing so. And we're on our way. Now what we're on to is fixing the Jeep. I showed you guys in I think the last episode, this is junk. These are no good anymore, so we lost our headers. The good news is, old Facebook Marketplace came through, and we've scored a set of manifolds. As a matter of fact, we've scored 2 sets of manifolds, and this one we started working on already, see? Put a pipe on it, welded her up. The bad news to this is I was trying to get argon when we went into town with Brian's car, and the store that sells the argon said, yeah, we can't sell you any argon today because they got a busted line. So I'm not doing any welding right now. Instead of doing any welding or stuff that we'd like to be doing, we're gonna do the head gaskets on this thing. See, what happened is, this thing has head studs, right? But the manifolds do not clear the head studs. So I pulled 3 head studs and was gonna replace them with bolts. As soon as I pulled the first one, it started dripping coolant. Now, I could take the gamble and we could try it, but I think it'd go wrong. So we're just gonna go ahead and do the head gaskets, which honestly we planned on doing this year anyways, and just sort of give it a little bit of a wellness check and look at the pistons and, you know, all the stuff that's involved there. Now we're just doing it a little sooner than we planned, that's all. We're just gonna hop to her. I'll show you if there's something interesting. Well, I told you I'd show you if something interesting is happening, and I guess not much interesting happened because we're here. But that's interesting. That's actually a leftover of Miles Mayhem 2023 when, you know, we had a little bit of a situation with some rocker studs coming loose. Meanwhile, we have the valve train removed, the intake's gone, fuel injection's gone. We've got all the head studs out on this side. Then we gotta do this side. And then heads are off. And that'll be a good moment. If I'm honest, it's gonna be a lucky thing if you guys don't hit the dirt, because you're just sitting on the fender of the Jeep and just sort of precariously balancing there. I also found something interesting that I'll show you in a second, because we got a lifter that's blown up. Oh yeah, well you're stuck, okay. Okay, we gotta pop them free first, I guess, eh? Oh, yep, there we go. Don't drop it, Heathen. Hurt. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Those are way dirtier than I expected them to be. Why do they have to be so heavy? Come here, buddy. Is there a big thunderstorm going on and you're making quite a ruckus about it? Is that what's happening though, buddy? How about you? Are you having any fun, or you're just scared of the storm? One dog's terrified when there's thunder, the other one is trying to attack the thunder, so. I'll show you something. So, let me try and get you some light here. There we go. This right here, that's what a lifter's supposed to look like. That's good. This right here, well, this side's fine, but there's pieces missing there. And I don't know where they went, but they're not where they're supposed to be. The good news is I think I have spare lifters. I just gotta dig for them. I'm not overly concerned about it. Like, I doubt it was causing much, because if we're honest, my push rods are really kind of too short for this job, and it's a non-adjustable valve train. So my guess is this was just taking up a little bit of slack. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, which I think means I'll have to shorten my pedestals again, which is not quite the ideal way of adjusting your valve train, but I don't know. It's our options. It's that, or send them to the machine shop and get, you know, the holes rethreaded and some sort of adjustable valve train adapted on, but not really into spending money on these cylinder heads, so I think we'll just patch it up and carry on. We got a shiny new lifter right out of the box. Actually, I had a whole set and a spare camshaft, so now I need to buy a new one to replace this, but in the meantime, we're just gonna replace the one, and I might think you should replace the whole set, but flat tappet lifters are good ones are sometimes a little hard to come by. And since I know that I've got 15 that didn't fall apart, I'm just gonna leave them in there because they're doing their job, and we'll hope that the one we replace learns from the others and does its job too. If it doesn't, then well, that'll suck. That's all there is to that. Meanwhile, we're gonna put some cam lube on that, and away we go. It is now the next day. We've spent the morning cleaning up and getting everything ready for reassembly, and like, we're just going back together. You know, and that's all there is to it. Over on the cylinder heads, we do have some valve train modification to do. One of the things I did notice is that a lot of my rockers seem kind of loose, and they're not adjustable, so we need to do something. And probably that means lower the pedestal a little bit, which changes the angle a bit, but we'll do what we do. That's all we can do about that. So, well, without saying it to a machine shop, which we're out of time to do. And it's worked for the last 2 years, so we'll just carry on with that plan. Now, I know I just said we were about to put these heads back together, but then I was like, oh, I should probably just do a quick, you know, make sure the valves aren't leaking test. I'll show you what I did. Got some, this is just like soapy water. You just go like this, and like this, like this. Now the compressor's gonna kick on, you won't be able to hear me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna blow water into the exhaust port here, and there, and there. And you're gonna see this one be normal, and this one not be normal. If you want to use one of these, go ahead. But as for me, this is just a lot faster. Now, don't get me wrong, this thing needs a valve job by, like, you know, an actual valve guy. Maybe the voice of Ford could do it for me. But in the meantime, we have at least somewhat of a solution. It's not making bubbles anymore, so I guess that's good enough. Look at that. Cylinder heads are on and torqued. And during that process, I also broke a socket and smashed my thumb. Hard enough that I walked out of the garage for a while. Because these are heavy, and it was difficult, and I didn't have fun. But anyways, we're on to the next thing, so let's not dwell on the difficulties of life. We'll just put the intake manifold on and everything else. Okay, here's some AMC weirdness for you. This is called a valley pan. And they're a pain in the neck to put in, and they're a pain in the neck to stay in, because it's just a piece of flat metal that you have to bend in there. Now, particular to AMC, you see these little rubbery guards? And back there, same deal. They're like the ones that Chrysler and Chevrolet used on their small blocks, except these ones don't suck, and they actually work. And you can use them, you don't just throw them in the garbage and use silicone. You do still silicone the corners. Now, you'll also notice I've siliconed and anaerobic sealant the water and the intake ports. I don't normally do that. Well, the water ports, sure. But we're doing it this time because I'm reusing the valley pan. And we're reusing the valley pan because when you order a complete engine gasket overhaul set, apparently the valley pan does not fall under that. Now, they're not shy about saying that it doesn't fall under that, but I looked at the basic description that said complete engine gasket set and just sort of thought that covered it, because complete means everything, and that was part of everything, but it wasn't part of complete in that case. It does say it like 2 lines down, does not include, but I didn't read 2 lines down. So we're reusing the old one, which will probably go badly, but that's an easy thing to change later on down the line, especially now that I've covered it with sealant and silicone. Oh, incidentally, you should normally put your valve train on before the intake manifold, but well, I didn't. So not because I don't have a good reason. I just screwed up. That's all. It doesn't matter because I've done this by braille enough times that I can usually find the holes for the push rods. Which, by the way, I did replace about 3 of the push rods. 1 because it was scuffed up, and 2 because they were dirty, and I had new ones. But anyways, what we're on to now is I'm replacing all this because the new ones are stamped steel and the old ones are cast aluminum. And I've broke a couple over the years, so we're just going to replace them all for the first time and actually have new ones. With one slight issue. It's completely non-adjustable valve train, and this camshaft has a small base circle. I don't know how to explain that very well, but the short version is, because this is a higher lift cam, they made the small side of the camshaft smaller so that it would fit, essentially. Anyways, you'd normally have to run an adjustable valve train and or different sized push rods, of which I have neither. So instead what I do is I take one of these and their little pedestal mounts and I knock off an amount until it's at about the right amount. Which, like, you can adapt small block Ford adjustable rockers into this fairly easily. I just never did. And that's okay with me. Because these are not the forever heads. They're the for now heads. So we'll just do the same thing with this valve train. So this is one of the old cast aluminum ones that I already did. Now they're like a one-piece deal. So all I did with these ones is I took a flat piece of something and then I measured it until I had, I don't know, 40 thou knocked off. 40 thou was really borderline. We're gonna go for 60 thou this time. And that should be enough, I hope. This one, bolted down tight, it should be a 0 lash deal, and it's not 0. There's 30 thou there, give or take. So that's the next 2-hour expedition. We'll really enjoy that. I know it's dark over on this side of the garage, but this is where I'm marking. So anyways, this is the little pedestal that replaces this one. It's now one per side. We gotta knock this part off like, I don't know, somewhere between 40 and 60 thou. To do that, you got a really technical machine here. You know what it is. I don't remember what they're called. The belt sander, right, Elvis? And that right there was 50 thou knocked off. Now it's not dead flat, but we got a solution for that too. It doesn't have to be perfect in alignment where it was, it just has to be flat. Because like this is a wobbly joint and it's in a ball socket and it can compensate for my little bit of outness, but it just has to be flat so it's still well supported and we don't put stress on the stud. But yeah, that's that. Only 15 more to go. Now, in a perfect world, this would be a piece of marble, and we'd have some nice sheets of sandpaper glued down. But what it really is a piece of melamine roll top and 2 sticky sanding pads. But it is doing the job. What we do is we take this guy, which has been rough cut, and we set it on here, and we just go like that for as long as it takes till we get numbers we want and we get a nice flat surface. Because that belt sander does a good job of taking lots of material off, but it ain't flat when you're done. Well, it's the next morning. We pushed her till 10:30 or so last night. Called her quits. Then I came out this morning and I realized I have made an error. Now, I mentioned before with this valve train business, I did this last time too. And I said, well, I only took 40 off, which wasn't quite enough. I couldn't remember why I only took 40 off. And this morning I remembered why I only took 40 off. So this is my one that I accidentally took a little too much off. It's got more like 70 off. If you put that into there, and you've taken 70 off, I don't know if you can see the problem there, but I can sure see the problem there. And that is, this is going to touch the pedestal instead of just rock back and forth on this. and that'll make it bind, and that'll bend push rods. The good news is, it's only a few thou over, so we've just been taking these to the bench grinder and massaging that few thou off. And it hasn't taken very much material away at all. It's still pretty good. But regardless, I, added another hour of work to this little project that was supposed to be done yesterday, so that's good. Okay, modified valve train is finally in. So we are just gonna give this thing a quick spin over for a little while. There's no plugs in it, so it's got no compression or anything, but I just like to see oil come up here, which sometimes takes a long time, but hopefully it won't be forever. Anyways, we're just gonna spin it up for a bit, make sure everything moves nice, make sure it looks okay, and we'll carry on from there. Well, I won't lie, I did just have a small panic attack there. Because, you think of possibilities that aren't even real and you try and calculate what happened. And I was immediately trying to figure out, well, did I cut my rocker pedestals too short and now every spring's trying to move at the same time? And no, they're still wiggly and fine, so that's not it. And then what I remembered is I don't have a ground strap hooked up. So, especially with the remote battery way back there and no ground strap and rubber motor mounts, probably not. So I crawled underneath just to ease my worries and spun it by hand, and it spins easy. Whether or not I just killed the starter, we'll see. We saw some smoke. That's not great. We're gonna throw a ground strap in quick and figure it out. That's good. I'm happy about that. That feels better. I saw 60 PSI on the gauge. Nothing up here yet, but that does take time, so we're content for now. Carry on with everything else. Basically, we're together now. AC's on and hoses are done up and, a bunch of things are accomplished. Now, what isn't done yet is we obviously don't have valve covers on because I'm going to wait till I have a chance to run it for a minute. We don't have exhaust on, we don't have plug wires on, we don't have spark plugs in it. Before I get all this put together fully, I want to finish building the exhaust so that, we can run it with some exhaust on it. But I'm out of argon gas, and I tried to get some before the weekend, but KMS Tools, the place that fills my gas, they had a busted line on Friday, so that wasn't going to happen. But they have it fixed today, and they said they could sell me some argon, so we're going to run into Red Deer, which is kind of nice, because then we can run some AC in the Mustang, and that'll cool me down a bit. But anyways, we're leaving, and then we're coming back.
How you doing, Luna Bear? You having a good day? Yeah. Good morning, hey?
Well, it's a new day, and I haven't the faintest idea of where we left off last week. Anyways, I'll tell you where we are, because I don't remember where we were when we left. We have two pieces of exhaust built. This one, and this one. So what that means is we've got one last piece to make. We gotta go stick the other manifold in the barbecue, get it hot, get a extension on it and a V-band clamp, and then we'll carry on. The engine's basically back together and close to ready to roll. So if we can get that done today, we'll be in better shape than we were before. I tell ya, we made some serious headway on this today. Well, actually no. What we did is we worked all day and we got basically one piece of pipe done. But it means all the exhaust pipes are built, on the hot side at least. Now I'll show you that all in a second. But
right now there's something more exciting. Then we got a little phone call from Brother Steve, and he said, hey man, you should come check out what I'm doing. And I had an idea what he was doing, and it was more interesting than what I was doing. So now we're gonna go see what he's doing, because you guys have seen me weld enough exhaust already. Now you've seen this truck before, but like it's got a whole episode about it even. But you might notice that, well, Brother Steve has changed the air filter out, and it's coming from a different place now. The mufflers are laying on the floor. There's all this stuff in the trunk, or box, or you know, whatever you call it. Oh yeah, old tractor flapperator, eh?
I think that'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sure.
That way the rain wouldn't get in the exhaust.
Yeah. Are you gonna run a stack?
No, I'm gonna keep it just so I can see it out the window.
Oh, I see.
I'm not sure how much I trust my pump,
Okay.
but seems to work. It
Good.
makes lots of noise, so I guess I'll know when it quits.
The turbo does or the pump does?
The pump.
Ah, okay.
And the turbo.
What, does it make whistly sounds?
It does.
Good, good, good.
I haven't dared give it anything like full throttle, but
Okay.
it's got more torque than any small block I ever had.
Oh, did it, like it's immediately picked up?
Yeah, I mean, like it makes 6 pounds of boost.
Immediately.
Well, because that turbo is for a 6-cylinder. Probably not ideal, but I just wanted to know if
Yeah,
the
but
oiling was going to work.
Not having to wait for a turbo to spool is pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't... Like, it's probably making a ton of back pressure by the time it's really wide open, but...
If it's making lots of power, then that's okay. If it's making boost and not making power, then it's too much back pressure.
So that exhaust somehow is like a magnet. This almost burned the truck down because it wasn't tight. I had an oil jug with me because I wanted, like, spare oil in case I had a leak. That immediately was like drawn into the exhaust, melted, poured everywhere, made lots of smoke. Then a pail I had, which really didn't need to be in the back of the truck, it managed to make its way over there. And I didn't have enough straps to tie down everything, so I thought I'd focus on the jerry can, because that could have been bad. I caught it just in time. But maybe we should go for a ride while it's still light enough to walk.
Sure. Well, it doesn't idle much different.
No.
Quiet.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'll put much of a muffler on it.
Do you have a boost gauge set up in your Holly monitor already?
No.
Oh, we should do that.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing I gotta buy, or a thing?
No, it'll know already. It's got a map sensor.
Because this is set up kind of stupid. I just put it into the air hat, so I don't think it reads vacuum. It only reads boost. Yeah. So I may.
How's fourth gear, brother?
Well, your elbow was in the way, so I just skipped a gear.
Would you like to pick a different one so that I can continue pushing buttons?
That bouncing isn't helping.
Oddly enough,
I really thought I was cooperating. It's funny because the transition from really bad manners with single plane to all the torque is pretty narrow.
Oh, right, because all the messing we did before was when it had a 318, not a 360.
Yeah, it's changed some.
Now, as Brother Steve and I combined our ignorance to try and tune his Holly sniper system to respond correctly to a boost signal, it became clear that more research would be required, as well as outside help from someone who actually knew something about tuning.
unwilling, because at least that way I'm not tempted to push it hard right away.
Yeah. Alright, we're back in the shop. I'll just show you what I've done so you actually get to see the exhaust that I keep talking about. Because this is the last time it gets to be shiny, and then we take it all down, we wrap it. So let's look at it for a second. It isn't the easiest thing to see, if we're totally honest. There's a lot of stuff in the way, but tolerances are a bit tight, you might say, but by the time we put an extra leaf spring in to give it an extra inch of clearance, because it's way higher on this side than it is on this side, it should be fine. Meanwhile, we got pipe up to a turbo here, and we got pipe from that side, and it goes, you know, away from over there, and this comes away from over there. Now, and now that it's all installed, we'll just take it right back out again. That's what we do with that. We also have to add an O2 sensor bung. And for the whole time I've owned this, I've always just ran it on one side. And I think you're actually supposed to run it like after the turbo, which I didn't know. But it has worked the whole time, so I'm not overly concerned. But I'm probably going to add 1 or 2 O2 sensor bungs, and then if I have a leak on one side or the other, I can move the O2 sensor, and then it will continue on running. Because I have had no end of trouble with having an exhaust leak and then the thing's pig rich the whole time, which is kind of frustrating. There, how about that? Can you see it better there? That's kind of what it looks like. Which is a little bit nicer looking in this mess. Now, I don't know how significant it really is, but it was over 12 feet of pipe before, and now it's under 7 feet of pipe. So that's something. I think that's good. Like that's sort of how it was laid out before. Well, this was over here. But it went way back and forward, caught the other one, then they went together and into there. And now they both just go. So hopefully that's an improvement. If nothing else, hopefully it doesn't leak, which is mostly what I'm going for. And it doesn't have all those wretched band clamps, which I used to think were pretty good until I discovered V-bands. And now band clamps are out and V-bands are in. Alright, that is one manifold installed. Now, we did put some heat wrap down there just on the stainless where it's, you know, thinner material. I wouldn't mind doing the cast manifolds and heat wrap as well, but well, I forgot to go get some, so, you know, we're out of heat wrap. The other side, you'll notice, is not there. And there's a very good reason for that, because we need to deal with this. See this steering shaft right here? Let me show you something. Just watch this for a second. Do you see this? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But there's a bunch of wobble between here and there. I've gone 109 miles an hour in this thing, and that just wobbles about, and it's quite exciting at speed, if we're honest. Now, Brother Steve has complained about this driving down the road, sort of like, the whole time. And when I took her down the quarter mile, like we went, I think 105 or something like that, and it's getting pretty exciting at 100 plus miles an hour in this thing, because it's really just, you're just trying to keep her. Anyways, hopefully the steering shaft is wide. Wide? The cause of the problem. So we have a new one. Where is it? I lost it. We have this one. Now this is
basically stock replacement. It's got a Borgeson U-joint on the end, as opposed to whatever the factory one is, and it just retains the stock style bolt together deal on the bottom. But hopefully it is a significant improvement. Okie dokie. We got a steering shaft in, and we got a header on. Not a header, it's a manifold. And now we're ready for O2 sensor bungs. So we're gonna put one where we're supposed to, which is right about here. And we're gonna put one, oh yeah, the pipe's not in there. We're gonna put one right there. And that one, all we have to do is keep one header and one V-band sealed up if all else fails. And it'll work because I've had it there in that basic exact spot for the last 3 years, and it ran fine. But it isn't where it's supposed to be, so we'll just do it properly because we're redoing anyways. I don't know why it's supposed to be post-turbo, but I don't need to know why for everything, you know? Sometimes you just need to do what the instructions say to do. Maybe I should cover up that open valve cover before I spread too many shavings in there, hey? Let's do that. Now, if you're into Bob Ross and you want to see a happy little accident, this right here, this Christmas tree bit, this is exactly the same size, on its biggest size, as my O2 sensor bungs. Look at this. See that? It's like that. Now it's perfect. That right there. Get out of my face. That's good. I'm happy about that. It's in, and those are back on. Plug wires are in. The rest of the exhaust is in. We've got a plug in that O2 sensor bung. We've plugged off all the weird exhausts, whatever emissions holes those were. Oh, I dripped oil on everything. Put all our plug wires back on. Got our boost tubes on. And after a number of weeks of this thing being laid up over an exhaust leak, we're ready to start it. Kind of forgot about some things, eh? Like showing you starting it. But it's running now. Now incidentally, we put one new lifter in, right? So technically you should be doing a break-in, which is, you know, 2,000 RPM for 20 minutes. So we're gonna do it for a few minutes at least, and then we'll do it again later. Oh, it's making a lot of smoke. We better go see what's going on. Probably just header tape burning off, but oh yeah, wow. That's really smoky. Header tape's disgusting and it hurts the eyeballs as it burns off. And the cheaper the stuff, the worse it is. It sure is quieter without a bunch of exhaust leaks, though. That's pretty nice. I may have forgotten to put the rad cap on. Whoops. What a mess. Well, on that big success, let's conclude the video, right? No. We're gonna go for a drive here shortly, but in the meantime, I want to make sure my cam is, well, the cam is. That new lifter's completely broken, so we're gonna let this thing cool off, top it up with water again, do another 10 minutes of running it at RPM, and then we'll go for a drive, I think. At least a little rip around the block. We're not gonna go far, But I at least want to go around the block. Sure feels nicer. Wipers in this thing? I thought I had wipers in this thing. Oh, my knob's gone. That's too bad. The oil pressure has benefited greatly from probably the lifter being replaced if I was to make it gas. Not positive of that, but it has more oil pressure than it used to by about 10 pounds. Too much boost. I'm gonna have to take the spring out of the wastegate. That was 11 pounds in no time flat. Yeah, we can't ride with that. Tells us we had a problem though, doesn't it? I think we're in good shape, folks. I think we're in real good shape. Like, I'm disappointed I couldn't do a pull with it, but I'm not gonna try and run this thing at 15 pounds boost and stock rods. Like that. This is not a LS rod situation. These are not Gen 4s, you know. These are Gen 1 AMC. And they're good for, like, I've decided arbitrarily I've made up a number of 7 pounds. And I'll push it to 9. We've got rods on the shelf for a different day. We're not gonna take the engine out in pursuit of happiness here. I think it pulls pretty hard. I also hear a new sound that I don't recognize. Sounds exhaust related. We'll have to investigate that. Boy, the steering sure is nicer. And that, folks, will probably be the last episode you see until we're on Miles Mayhem. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and hey, if you want to check out our Miles Mayhem action, we'll be doing daily videos at Miles Mayhem. At least that's the plan, unless it really goes wrong. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Don't drive boring cars. Man, isn't that a cool looking old Jeep, eh?